Hey, 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 everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie, your lovely MIA Lotus Blossom. But I am here now, and I hope everybody is doing good and you've had a lovely week and weekend because I didn't even realize today was Wednesday until a few hours ago, if you can believe that. Hey, Penny Pin, and also Roberta and Carol. Thank you all for sticking with me and coming on for the live today. Today I'm going to be showing you my first junk journal, which I've been promising for like 2 weeks now. So I decided to pull it out because I never really did like an official flip through of my first junk journal. And you can kind of see how things have kind of evolved a bit as well. So before I get started, I always like to invite those who love junk journaling like we do. You can subscribe to the channel and also hit the subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. You can also join us over on the Facebook group, and the name of our Facebook group is Junk Journal Buddies. All the links are in the description below. And if you need a beautiful junk journal, not like my first one, but maybe like this one I'm currently working on, you can head over to pleasantcreations.com. And if you are coming on the replay, just know that this is being recorded via a live chat. So I will be chatting with my junk journal buddies. All right, so hello there, T Creates. I'm glad to have you here for this evening, and also Attili. I hope I said your name right because every time I say it, I know I probably say it differently. You're doing some dinner while you're watching. Well, all right, cook me some dinner too because I'm hungry. So I probably won't have dinner until after we ate. So YouTube just sent out the notification that we are on live. So yippee, yippee, yippee. So we should have some more people jumping in as well. So I really I had some requests to show my first junk journal, and this is the first one. And you can see, even with my first junk journal, I had stuff hanging all over the sides and everything. And I'll tell you about the construction as well. And this was actually a textbook that I had. And hello there, Hush Puppy, and also Beverly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Rachel, hey, hey, hey. I like to say hello to everybody also. I might stop every now and then and say hello to people because y'all know I'm a chatty girl like that. So this book was a textbook, and when I first started, I was like, I want a junk journal, and so I just kind of threw this book together, and it's really well constructed, believe it or not. And I didn't take the spine out or anything. You can see the spine is quite tiny. And this book would have been so much better, hindsight type of thing. It would have been so much better had I have taken the spine out and put a new spine in. But at that time, I didn't know how to do that because I was new. So if you're new to junk journaling, just know that you can have a junk journal and it doesn't have to be perfect. And it doesn't have to look like everybody else's. It can be, just whatever you want to make your junk journal to be. So just keep that in mind. So again, I took a book. It was a textbook. And then what I did with the cover is very rustic. I call it rustic, y'all. It's a rustic kind of book. What I did with the cover, I had some books that I got from the library. And I love the covers of the books. And I actually had 2 copies of them. So I took those and I Mod Podged them onto the cover. So I just put it all the way across here. And then I had another cover and I put that here. And then I used some washi tape and I taped it down. And that was it. That was my cover. And I think it's very beautiful personally. I'm talking to you, Bev. Yes, I am talking to you. Just get her done. And then for the closure, the only thing I did was I punched a hole in here and I put a ribbon. That's it, just a ribbon. And I had like this little charm that I got. It was on sale. It doesn't have anything that has any meaning or anything. And I just stuck it on there. And that was it. That was my cover. Now, before I put this cover on, I did sew the signatures in, and then I put the cover over the top of it, so you can't see the signatures on here. But if you were here and you could feel it, you would be able to feel where I sewed the signatures in. Now I'm just going to show this briefly. This is the current book that I'm working on. You can see it's very, very fat already. So you all haven't seen any of these yet, but if you are a patron, you will see me doing process videos for all the pages in this particular book. And it's a wraparound journal. It's very beautiful. And I have some more of these wraparound journals over at pleasantcreations.com. But if you want to see these in real time, and I have like tons more videos up over on the Patreon channel, you can head over to patreon.com/LizForAday and you can check those out. So I'm going to put this over to the side because we're just talking about the very first one that I had here. So one thing that I like about this book and I don't like is that it's very sturdy, and it was a hardback book, so it has absolutely no give when it comes to the cover. So what I found over time is that I like covers that have a little bit of give, but this one has no give, but of course I still love it because it was my first. So let's go inside, and in the inside I just glued down some cardstock on the inside to cover the inside. So it's just the original book, and you can kind of see it is very thick, and it just has some cardstock on the front and cardstock on the back all the way across, and that was it. That was my first junk journal, and it has how many signatures? We have 4 signatures in here. Kind of a weird number of pages, I think, and I don't think I really counted out the pages or anything, but what I did was I used a lot of scraps. I used magazine pages. I used just scrap pieces of paper that would have gone in the trash. Like nothing crazy, nothing fancy. So again, if you are going to be making a junk journal, just know that you don't need anything fancy to make your book. You don't need any fancy age pages or anything like that. Just take some papers out the trash, fold them, and you have a junk journal. So I made a little pocket, and this was just from a Project Life card that I had, and I put like some little enamel dots on here. Now let me see if I can get this. I feel like this is unfocused. Y'all, I'm gonna wipe off the camera so just in case, because I feel like, all right, so close your eyes for a second. All right, and let's see if that's a little bit better, because I felt like that was a bit fuzzy. A little fuzzy wuzzy. All right, that might be a bit better. Okay, so, and this is a pocket. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'll kind of tell you what things are. I think I was going to use this picture, and then I didn't, so it just got stuck in here. And this was just a little tag here, and I just put my name and volume 1. This was volume 1 for me. And I have here that I started in 2017, but I didn't put when I ended. I think I ended this in 2018. But I may or may not go back in here. And you'll find there's lots of unfinished space and stuff like that, but I'm okay with that. So here's just a tag that I glued down. And this page right here is from a calendar. So this was a calendar page, and on the back of the calendar page, I had this page that I was playing around with some sprays, and I just glued the pages together. I remember that. Some things I'll remember, but most of the stuff I won't. And then this is an envelope that I pre-bought, and my intention was to stick something inside, but there's nothing inside. And this is just a card, and it had quite a few flip-ups here. I'll just show you. And almost all the journaling I put in here, I put like lines under there, which I found that I don't really like and enjoy anymore. So I don't like put lines there. And this was a scrap piece of cardstock. So I'm going to tell you what the pages were made out of, because I think it's important that you know that you don't need any fancy pages to make your own junk journal if that's what you want to do. And then of course I made tabs out of like some little pieces that I had, and also some trash pieces, because y'all know I, I've always loved tabs even from the very beginning. And these are just post-it notes. This is a post-it note, post-it note, post-it note, post-it note, and I did a whole bunch of writing and just like some scrap pieces of masking tape on here. And here's a piece of vellum, and I just stuck some. This was a book that I just was sticking things in. It was almost glue book style, but in a journal kind of fashion. I used some letters. This is another just a scrap piece of cardstock that I had. And on the back I put a photo of my picture of my kids on here. That's when they were younger and they're teens, and then this is when they were older. And I made a tag, and this is just out of regular paper, so you don't need special paper to make tags and things. You can just use just regular paper. And I also just printed some of these pictures on regular cardstock as well. So just 20-pound cardstock, just regular paper out of your printer. If you have a printer, you can print your pictures on. You don't need any fancy glossy pictures or matte paper or glossy paper. So keep that in mind as well. Hope y'all writing this down. Y'all taking notes so you know what you can use in your books. And again, I did lots of journaling on here. And my kids. All right, so this page right here, the back of this page, or the base of this page, is actually a magazine, and I remember that, and I just glued like everything under the sun on here, including some homemade enamel dots. Y'all, these are so easy to make. I just made them out of like those pony beads, and I got a million of those things. And then I did some journal on this card and just kind of stuck it in. You can kind of see somebody's eyeball right there. From where I did where I had the page there. Hey Gretchen, how you doing today, girl? All right, and Sheila, I didn't say hello to you. And then I have lots of flip outs too, and that's my mom and Slim right there. Slim's getting his loving on. And this right here is actually a printable that I got from Journa Claw. I think that's how you say her name. I think that's one of the only digital prints that I bought in the beginning, and it's like one of her linen digital prints. And this is a doily, and this piece of paper is just some scrap cardstock that I had. Almost everything I had was scrap in here. And I did a little bit of stamping, and here I don't even know what this was. This was a book page. This was from this book. It was a textbook page. It was kind of thin, so I put like some cardstock on the back of it. Again, I just printed my pictures on regular paper. And this is some vellum, and I kind of glued some vellum together, and I made like a weird pocket, like a weird belly band here. And I also had like some punches, so I punched out some butterflies down here, and these were from magazine pages. So you can use if you have some punches, you can punch magazine pages, and they make a really nice decorative type of a punch instead of using like your cardstock. Maybe you want to hoard your cardstock. You can just use magazine pages and do your just find a page that has like the colors that you want and just punch those. So you can use just regular old magazines. And this was from a cardstock that I could punch out. Okay, and then I had some more pictures. Yeah, that's Boss Baby when she was little. She's 3 years old now. And that's my son when he had Boss Baby, because they had her in 2017. And then I wrote about it here. And the date that I put on here is actually in August, and I wanted to mention that because you don't always, if you're journaling in your journal, you don't always have to put the date when things actually happen. You don't even have to put a date. You could just put a date in that when you wrote things. That's how I do mine. So how many people in their journal, they actually put the date for what they're writing on. If you actually put actual dates in your journal, put a 1 in the chat. If you're like me and you just put the dates on when you're actually writing in the journal, put a 2. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, put a 3. You could put a 3 if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Hello, Rhonda. I'm glad you're here also. So Roberta says she is watching and eating. Ooh, you guys are so cruel because I'm hungry. So here's another piece of cardstock here. And I took another, I mean, not cardstock, but vellum. And I took another piece of vellum and I made a tab here. And I have an envelope. And I don't know where I got this envelope at. I think it came with some Smashbook stuff. And Roberta says she don't know what I'm talking about. And it has a pocket, but the pocket doesn't have anything in it. I know I was kind of confusing about that, so I made sure I put that 3 in there for the confusion that I just caused. All right, and then this was like just a bunch of layering of stuff, and it was also on the textbook page. And then I had some Project Life cards that I did some journaling on, and I stuck those in because y'all know I love journaling in my journal. Do y'all like journaling in your journal, or do you like, or are you a glue book style person? I'm more of a journaling type of person, but I don't know. I'm kind of a mix. And then I have a comic strip that my mom gave me because I told you guys about the comic strip, so I'm not going to explain that again unless y'all want me to. And then these were just some things that I stuck down in this green. It's just some cardstock. And we have a nothing, so I have a card that I was going to write on, but I did not. All right. And then I just had some pieces, like some scrapbooking pieces that I bought. And I just stuck those in there because I was trying to get rid of them, but I still have a bunch of cardstock pieces that came in the same packs as this. I still have. So this was like 3 years ago, y'all. Still got them. Still trying to use them. And then this was like some masking tape that I got. This was kind of like the cover that came with it. And so I just stuck that on. And all that good stuff. Stuck. And this is, again, magazine page right here. And I use washi. And then I have a picture of a friend. This is a magazine pictures that I put in. I just like the color, so I just put those in here. And I included probably very few pictures in here. I don't think I have a lot of pictures. So I've never used a lot of pictures in my books. I have like some post-it notes that I kind of just put in that I might have did a little bit of doodling on. Here's another card that came like in one of those Smashbook kits. And I have lots of pockets and lots of little flip outs. And I took a picture of this. And I thought this was hilarious because my sister cousin's work family gave her this note because she had to go to Michael's to get some stuff. And it says, go to Michael's, number 1. Number 2, buy flower pots, planters only. Number 3, exit the store. And then it says, go directly to car. And this says, do not go back in the store. I thought that was hilarious. So I was like, can I take a picture of those? And she let me take a picture and I put it in my book. Because y'all, that's us. And then I have a pocket here. I know I saw something in here. What's in here? Just some journaling. Oh, and this is a paint card. So I picked up some paint cards, some paint chip cards, and it made a great journal card. So those are free. Don't tell anybody you're taking them, though. You're taking them for journaling. They want you to take them, though. I'm going to say I wanted to put that paint on my wall. Let's put it that way. All right. So now Rhonda says she likes to journal in her junk journal. And she says she's been doing scripture writing in her planner that she created. Thanks to Beverly. Right on. Thanks, Beverly, for your ideas as well. And then I took like, on this, this was actually a cardstock, and I stamped on here, but I spelled something wrong, so I just took a D out of a magazine and put it here. And then of course I used some tape. This is just from a notepad, so you can use notepads. If you have some notepads, you can write on them and then just put them in your book. And then I did some stamping on the side here. And then here, this was the year that my father passed away. So I have like several like entries about my dad in here. So this entry is about him. And this card that I have here was about him. And I have some tags on this side. And if this doesn't freak you all out, on this tag I actually have like a picture of his coffin on here. And it actually doesn't make me sad to look at this. And I wrote about it on here. And I have it down here, rest in peace. And so, and this is just I printed this, and this was like a picture of a map. And on this side, I have just a journal card with a whole bunch of writing on it. I made a big old pocket here. And this is a pocket right here. I made a little side pocket. Got some journaling there. And this was kind of like some trash. And I did like some crazy stamping on there. And here I just decided this page was kind of glue style. I had like some little trash pieces behind here and some pretty washi tape. And I just took some words out of a magazine and I put them on here as well. Hey Donna, yeah, the paint cards, those are a fantastic idea. And I used several of them in this particular journal. I don't think I've used any lately, but I've actually used several of them in this journal. And then here's another pocket, and I think this pocket has something in it. Let me see. Oh, it has a picture. It has a picture of my aunt who has passed away as well. I think this was a picture. I did a little journaling on the back of that as well. I think this was a picture. I might have had an extra one, and I just stuck that in there also. And here is an altered playing card that I made. And of course, a lot of times when I put things in my book, my intention is to go back and to actually write on them, but sometimes I don't. Okay, so Roberta says, I'm going to jump in. What is a glue style? Okay, glue style, what I mean by that is, I guess people have categorized the books into different kind of categories. Like they have smash books, then they have the junk journals, and then they have like the glue books, and there's a few different more. To me, they all kind of mash up the same. But the glue books, mostly what people do is they cut pictures and words out of a magazine, and they just glue those into kind of, I want to say a junk journal, but they call them glue books. But it could be made junk journal style. It's just on some blank pages, and they just glue stuff on. So there's no journaling in there. They don't have any writing. There's no painting. The only thing they do is cut things out like this, and they just glue them on. That's it. So that's what I mean by a glue book style. So I hope I explained that okay. So Beverly says she needs to take a trip to Walmart for some paint cards. Or you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot as well. All right, so, okay, so this is another page from the textbook that all this is on. And I actually made this paper clip too out of some little flowers I got from Michael's in like their $1 or $2 section or something like that. So it was a long time ago. And then we got journaling here. And then here, this was a scrap piece of paper that was meant for the trash. And I was doing some testing with some paints or something like that, and I pulled it out the trash. And this was also trash. This was a piece of this cover. It was the bottom part of this cover, and I just kept it. And I did like a little butterfly, and I think I have the butterfly. Oh, here's the butterfly right here that I punched out right here. That's the butterfly, and I just made it into a little lip there for that tag. And here's another pocket, and I put the pocket on backwards so it'll be a pocket that's just stuck onto the page, and I have some journaling in there. And I just had several shapes and I just glued them right onto the page as well. You're very welcome, Roberta. And then everything here is glued on, and I have a little pocket, and there's another one of the paint chips there. And this one I don't have anything written on, but if I wrote on it, I probably would write on this side. So I really doubt if I go back in here and write anything on it. Anything. I'm pretty much finished with this book because I have moved on. I have a few books in between this one and the current one that I'm working on. And this was one of the first pages I put in here, and it was a flip up. And I kept saying, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write in here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to write in here, and I never did. So if you have a junk journal, don't beat yourself up if your pages are not finished and you want to move on to a new book. It's your book, it's your life. Move on if that's what you want to do. You don't have to be kind of married to a book. If you feel like you're finished with it and your book says I'm finished, then move on to a new book. That's what I say. So this was a dollar store calendar, piece of a dollar store calendar here. And this was a page that was earmarked for the trash as well. I was doing some testing and I printed this out on an inkjet printer, and I tried to wet this page. I think I tried to coffee dye this page, and the ink started running because, you know, with inkjets, the ink doesn't stay like a laser printer. But I dried the page and I kept it and I just stuck it in my book because I know I couldn't use it in any of the books that I actually sold because, you know, I'm a detailed kind of person and I want those books to be just right for whomever they're going to go to. So if I have something that's not quite right, then I'll just keep it for myself because I don't mind. So Beverly says she doesn't even want to write in hers. I totally get it. You don't have to write in your book if you don't want to. If you feel like you don't want to write in your book, don't. So this was like a little bit of a flip up, and I just put a little picture in here of a stamp that I colored in, which was kind of cool. And this is some vellum. And these are just some magazine pages, and you all might recognize this. You may have one of these. This is a notepad. So I just wrote on a notepad and then I glued it in. So when your book starts getting fat, sometimes it's hard to start writing in your book. So what I do is I take a piece of paper out or a note page and I'll write on it first and then glue it into the book. So that way it's easier for me to do it. Or I may keep some note pages like in my purse or whatever, and while I'm out someplace or waiting in a doctor's office or a dentist's office, what I'll do is I'll do some journaling, and later on I'll put that journaling in my book. So I think this was one of those times where I stuck it in my book afterwards, after I got back home or whatever. And you can see this book had like some little chompy marks out of it. I think I was trying to do some kind of corner punching and it didn't come out right. But for my junkie book, this was just perfect. And then, y'all, this is Boss Baby when she was little. And I was going to journal about it and I didn't. And see, I left the paper loose so that I could take it out and write. And then I was going to put it here. But, of course, I never went back because time flies. Time flies, y'all. All right. Then on this page here, this was a trash page. These are like the packaging from some washi tape that I got at the dollar store. And for some reason, because I like repetition and I just like those packages, I just glued them all down. And then from a magazine, I got this Seeing the Light. And I just put that down. So this is kind of glue book style here. I didn't really write anything in there or do any fancy smancy decoration. And you'll see I have lots of washi tape throughout in the middle to hold things together because, you know, this was my first book. It wasn't constructed that great. All right, and then I have this is some trash back here, and then I glued a little card on top and made a little tab. And then this is my sister cousin and her family there. And here's another note page here, and this was a book that had an atlas page, or it was a map. It was a city map, I think. I put that in here. and those are free. So that's a great place to get some things to put in your book. If you stop at a rest stop, or maybe sometimes outside of a business, you can find like some brochures, and you can use those pages within your books as well. See, I didn't mind using like trashy stuff like that because I knew even then when I did my first book that those pages would be covered up. So in some cases I didn't want them to be covered up, but overall I like the look. And this is just a big doily that I made into a pocket, and I put like a photo on top of here. And again, this is the back of a calendar. And then we got a card here, Project Life card. And this is trash. This is the other side of those washi tape pieces that I have here. So on a piece of cardstock, and have a flip up here. This was a page that I was going to do as a digital, but I never did. I never finished it. And I just have one of my floral notes here that I put on. I can't even read it because I don't have my glasses on. And then this was just a page here, and I stuck this big butterfly on here and made it into like a tag that's hanging off. And then this page was out of a magazine, and it was about bees. And so I made a little pocket. I actually did some journaling, I think, about the bees. And all this is like about the bees and how the bees are dying and stuff. So I thought it was quite appropriate for this book. And this was from a magazine. And here's some little bees right here. And this is an altered playing card that I turned into like a just a little pocket here. And I made some tags. This is a tag out from a magazine piece I just cut out. This was the like the title of the page these little bees came off of, and I just cut it and made a tag out of it. And that one doesn't have anything on it. So Beverly says, where can you get some Project Life cards from? Girl, don't get your Project Life cards from anywhere, because I'm going to tell you, the only thing, and I learned this very early on, the only thing that Project Life cards are is just cardstock that's cut into a specific size. And I think the Project Life cards, I think, are 4x2 and 3x6. So I wouldn't go out and buy Project Life cards because if you have cardstock at home, you can make your own. Very easy. Just take your paper cutter out and cut you some pieces, and voila, you have Project Life cards. But when I first started doing this, I did not know that. I thought, I felt like they were kind of special, and sometimes they have like writings and saying and things on them, but I was like, I'm not spending any money on Project Life cards. But just like Carol said, you can find them at Tuesday Morning, and they're not that expensive to buy, but still, I would still just, if you have cardstock you've been hoarding, just use your cardstock. That's what I say. So I think that's a pretty good tip. Y'all give this a thumbs up for good tips on things to use in your junk journal. So if you haven't already given this video a like, I sure would appreciate it if you did. Because likes help the channel out a lot. That's why I ask a lot. All right, so this was another junky page behind here, and I just did like some stamping on here. It sounds like a Project 20 to you. To make some Project Life cards, girl, that's so easy to make. I tell you, that's a Project 50 right there. Carol, you said you didn't buy them. Okay, good. You don't need to buy them because it's, like it's not even, sometimes it's worth buying things that are already made instead of making your own. But in this case, I would say it's pretty easy to make a Project Life card yourself. It's just not Project Life. All right, so here is another notepad page here that I wrote on, and then I just put this in here. We got some washi tape, some stamps. So stamps can always zhuzh up your pages. So if you have some stamps, they make terrific backgrounds. So I made like a background with these arrows, and you don't need like a lot of stamps. So this right here is actually an envelope, and inside of this envelope is my dad's obituary. So I wanted to put his obituary in here. I just didn't want to look at it all the time, even though I have like the tag that has like his casket and stuff on there. I know that doesn't make much sense, but the obituary is hidden inside of here. So if I did want to go back in here, I could just pop this up because it says it right here. It says his name and his obituary inside. So I know, but I already knew that. So here is another page, and this page itself is actually from a magazine. You can kind of tell. I just used the magazine page. It made a terrific background as well. So Beverly says that she only has white cardstock and she needs some paper pads and ink dabbers. Yeah, so if you just have like just regular cardstock, you could print out, if you have a printer, you could print out something on your white cardstock and then you can make them into Project Life cards. Like for instance, like this little card right here, this is a picture of some seashells from the beach. So I took like a picture, like an overhead picture, and I could have made it big enough like to fill a whole page and then just cut that down on cardstock, and then I would have had Project Life cards. So all the Project Life cards are just, they were made to be a specific size because they have, Becky Higgins is the person that makes them, and she had like specific document protectors that those cards went into. So it's actually, the Project Life cards are part of a system, but all that is, like I said, is just cardstock. So just keep that in mind. Get your project done in life. All right, so here's another one of the floral notes, and these are actually a digital up in the shop, or you can purchase these as a physical product as well. And I love these because you can put these on different pages and then you can write on them. Of course, I didn't write on this one because there's just lots of spaces that I didn't write on here, and then I just glued like a banner down here. And this is not a Project Life card. It came from a cardstock paper pad, and then I cut it down to the size of a Project Life card, and I just made it into a pocket. So, and this pocket has me and my mom here, which is kind of cool. And on this page, I just put like some trashy tags on here. I'm gonna call them trashy tags. So this stuff was gonna go into the garbage, and I always keep the tags because for some reason, y'all, I just feel like the tags are actually quite beautiful, so I always keep them. I'm still feeling like feeling like I'm still kind of, maybe it's my eyes because I don't have my glasses on. Let me see. Put my glasses on. Okay, maybe things are more focused that way. All right, and then here was just a piece of trash. I made a tab out of it. And then I love this page, and I got this out of a magazine, and I don't remember what magazine I got it out of, but I think I got it out of a library magazine because our library gives you like a booklet that tells you everything that's happening for the month. And so sometimes I'll pick those up, and they usually have like really beautiful pictures and illustrations in them. And I made a pocket out of it. And now this was a Project Life card. So this is the 3x6 Project Life card. And I tried to use my Project Life cards up. I still have some. And so Donna says that she saw the tab first way to let her pictures peep out. Yeah, I love tabs. I'll make a tab out of anything. And then here's a picture of me. It's a flip out, and this is just washi tape. It's actually black and white washi tape. And then for some reason I put like some gesso over the top of it. I don't know why, but I still like the effect that it had. And then this is me at a winery, so there's some wine barrels behind me. And this might be one of the only pictures I printed in black and white because I like the black and white color, but I never print my pictures that way. And this is a Project Life card, a smaller one. And this is the back of a calendar, the picture part of the calendar, because I don't think in my book you can't see any of the calendar pages in here. And then these were some items that I got from a candy factory that I went to called Abenese, and I just liked the way it looked, and I did some journaling about it. And on this page, this was a page that I made, and I made it into a pocket, just stuck some tags in here. that I didn't finish, that I didn't write on, but I'm okay with that. Hey, Crafty Michelle, how you doing, girl? All right, and then here's another one of the smash book cards. Did some journaling, washi tape, and y'all, this is an actual bay leaf for when I was cooking. I don't know why I have a few bay leaves inside of my books, but I love cooking with bay leaves. I like to cook. I like the flavor of them, and you know, if you've ever cooked with a bay leaf, when you cook with it, after you're done with whatever it is that's simmering, you actually take these out and you throw them away. You don't eat them. It just gets the flavor off of it, and then you throw them away. So instead of throwing my bay leaves away, sometimes I keep them. Now that's some junk journal hoarder action right there. when you keep bay leaves, but I glued it in and it stayed in perfectly, so I was happy about that. And then I took some pictures of this lettering book that I got, and when I was practicing, and I decided to put the pictures in here and do a little journaling. And this was just some trash. This was some trashy paper that I was going to use. And this was from, you can see the calendar here. I made a pocket from the calendar page, and this is a Project Life card. So you can see it's just a two-sided pre-cut cardstock. That's it. And I never wrote on that. Now I can see how much I really put in here and didn't write stuff on. And this was something I cut out with my Cricut, and I never used it, so I just stuck it on here, and I like the way it looked. And this little piece too. And then this is trash from the kitchen, my kitchen trash. And I got some earrings from this lady who was selling on Etsy, and she's one of my friends now. And I just put this in as a little bit of a memory. And this is the kitchen trash was from a packet of miso soup with tofu. And so I put that in here. So if y'all been watching me, y'all know I love using kitchen trash. And then I have some trashy tabs here as well. Because I say trashy, but y'all know ain't nothing trashy with me. And then this came out of one of those city magazines as well. And like the stuff that's on here has absolutely no meaning to me. I just like the colors. And so I glued them down to the page. And then this was, I don't know where I got this outlet. I don't even know. But this is a paint chip right here. It's a large paint chip. And I just glued it onto one of the text pages that I had in here as well. Hey, Just Lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then this is another piece of the owl, the backside of the owl. I just had the bright idea to put that there. And this page came out of a magazine, and this is a stamp, and it says, "Life is hard, your art shouldn't be." And this is another little trashy tab that I have here as well. And these pieces actually came off of a note page. It was at the top of a note page, and some of you may have this because I think I got this at the dollar store. And I was using the pages for something else, and I don't know what it was. And I cut it down. Oh, I know what it was. It was for my recollections planner. And so I kept these, and I just glued those down glue book style. And hey, Elizabeth from Costa Rica. Ooh. Wow, do you speak Portuguese or Spanish? I only speak a teeny bit of Spanish, but I don't speak any Portuguese at all. But I thought I would ask. All right. And then over here on this side is just a little card that came out of a cardstock book, and I just made a pocket here. And you can see this was a trashy piece of paper. It has some holes in it from where I cut stuff. And we have a Russell Stover in our area, so I must have went there on my travels up north. I always stop by Russell Stover's on the way home. So I had a little card and I stuck it in here. Spanish, okay. Espanol. I speak a little bit of Espanol, but I don't wanna make myself look bad, so I'm not gonna speak it. Because my little boss baby speaks Spanish too. All right, so this was just a piece of paper that was earmarked for the trash, and I was testing some stamps, and I just put this in here. And then here is me and Boss Baby. We took a selfie, so you can see she was really tiny in here. And it says, I'm happiest when I'm with you. Aw, enjoy the little things. So sometimes you can find pre-made things that you can use in your book that kind of fit the pages that you're actually using as well. And here is another one of the floral notes that I have in the shop here. And I just made a pocket out of here. Now, here's one of the large paint chip cards that I put in here. And behind here is actually, y'all, this was a mixed media page and I hated it. And so I decided to cover it up and just make it a background. So you don't have to, there are no mistakes in junk journaling. If you have something that you don't like, you can always just cover it up. And that's what I did with this page. And it's actually, I like this page because I made it with some texture paste. And so it has some texture to it. But I don't like this page because I didn't like the colors and stuff in. It just didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. And so I covered it all up. And I have a little trashy tab here as well. And then this is the back of a calendar again. And I didn't want to put anything on it because I just liked the way it looked already. And this is the textbook page. And I took like some little post-it notes and I just stuck post-it notes all over it. Just glued them on there. And this is some vellum that I put in here. And this is when I found out that vellum does not like glue. So you can probably see it's quite wrinkly because these pieces that I put on here are glued to that vellum. And I glued a big doily on first, and then I put like these little pieces that I punched out with a scallop punch, and I just put them all over and just made a little bit of a decoration, and I like the way that came out. And this was a Project Life card here, and it was too big, so I made it a fold out. And this is the first thing that I ever cut with my brother's Scan and Cut. So this was a stamp. I stamped it, I colored it, and then I cut this with my Scan and Cut. So I was like, oh, I like it. And then I cut my mat, and I got mad at my Scan and Cut, and I put it on the shelf for like a year and a half before I used it again. Because that's what we do when we don't read the instructions. But now I use my Scan and Cut almost every day. So this is a picture of my mom here at a movie theater. She got her feet kicked up because the movie theater we go to has like reclining seats, which was kind of cool. And at that time they had just got the reclining seats, so I wanted to take a picture of it. And then this is just a digital print of a linen. And this was from a birthday card that I got. It's an envelope and I made it a fold out, and I don't have anything inside of here. And the only thing, this was a trashy piece of cardstock that I had here. And I love the way the sound of the pages turning too. They sound so nice. Can y'all hear that? Thank you, Crafty. And then here is just a picture. This is, in case y'all can't make it out, I was sitting in my car. This is the steering wheel right here. And I had these pens. I still have them. And they have like these paint splatters on them. And I bought them that way. And I just like I thought they were like a nice work of art, and I liked the picture, so I took a picture of it. All right, because that's how I'm is. And this was the back of the envelope, and it had these butterflies on it already. Excuse me, so I don't want to cover those up. And then I just made a pocket out of, this was an envelope, and I just did some stamping on it, and I ripped it and made a pocket. And then this was a tag, and I don't know what this was. I think this was a purse. I must have had a purse, Madison West. And I just liked the way the tag was, and I didn't want to do anything to it, so I just left it. So you can use like, just have your eye open for things that look like trash, but they're really beautiful, or they might be well constructed. Like this had a really good feel to it to me, and it looked like a tag. It has like a eyelet here, and this came this way. I just like this, and I thought it would look great inside of my book. So there you have it. I put it in. And this was actually a picture of a junk journal that I bought at Goodwill. It was a little bitty junk journal. I don't have it anymore. And Then this was just some trash, and I just glued that onto the page. And here's a trash tab right here as well. And this is some vellum. I had some vellum, and I had it for a while, and I wanted to use it in the book, so I put that in there. And here's another floral note, and I made this into a pocket. This is a floral notes from the shop. And then there's a Project Life card behind it. And this, let me see, did I write anything on this? Nope, I didn't write anything on this. Just a piece of a notepad on there. You can see that this was an envelope. And then this is my 2 grandchildren at that time. I have another one now. So this is Boss Baby when she was a little bitty baby. And that's Slim. And he was making some pancakes on that day. We were making pancakes together. So this one says, good things come in small packages. And this one says, I love you always and forever. Because with this book, with my junk journals as well, I wanted them to be kind of like something that could be passed down. And that's why I write in the books as well. And I only write positive stuff in my books. These are not books. Some people, they use their junk journals for therapy, and you might put, want to get like bad stuff out of your mind and stuff. But for me, I like putting positive things in here and things that I love and pictures and stuff, so that once I'm gone, and my kids get these and they see these books and they see the things that I wrote about them, they'll get a gist of how much I love them. You know what I mean? And so I wanted this to be kind of a legacy to them. So I write things about my life that, will be pertinent to them later. And I think probably in the future, I'm going to be putting more pictures into my books because it'll be more memory keeping as well. So those are some ideas if you are going to be doing some junk journals as well. So let's see. All right, so on the back of this page, I just put some gesso on here and did a whole bunch of stamping. And this is actually a pocket. This is another piece from the Floral Notes digital collection. And on here, this was just a little piece of paper, and it's on the back of the textbook. This is a textbook page from this actual book. This is a trash piece of paper, and I was testing out a stencil that I made, and it was like some sugar skulls, and they were kind of messed up, if you want to call it a mess. And I just used it as a page. This is just some tags off of some clothing, and I did like a little edge punch on here. And I made a belly band, and here's another Project Life card I put in, and this is the back of a calendar. And this page, these 2 pages were actually my first ever mixed media page. So I actually used paints on these, and then I put some pictures on here of some coloring books because I was doing some color with me's on the channel as well, and I took some pictures of me coloring, and I did some journaling about it. This piece right here was from a magazine. This was clothing tag, and this was from a hotel, and I just liked the colors of it, so I kept it. So mostly trash on this page right here. And then this was just some scrapbooking kind of ephemera that I put in here. And then this was from a winery. I went to visit a friend in Jacksonville, Florida. And these were a few pictures that I took there. We did like a wine tasting because, y'all know you can't go to a winery without doing a wine tasting. That's like sacrilegious, y'all. You got to at least taste the wine because you can get a good buzz just from doing that without buying anything. And this was the card that tells you what the wines are. And it's kind of funny because I didn't know that this winery was there, because their winery is like the sister to the winery that's in my area. So they have some of the same wines, but they're actually named differently. But of course, I enjoyed anyway. And then we have another journal card in here. This is another Project Life card, a large one. And then this tab right here is actually a piece of you guessed it, it is the paint chip. So I made that into a tab. Actually, no, it's not. It's the card from this winery. It's a business card because I can see it on the side. So this is the birthday card that I got from my mom. Isn't it beautiful? Beautiful birthday card. And you all saw the envelope, and I made it into a pocket, and I stuck a few things in here. And I think this is from one of the Bible journaling sets that I have over at in the ephemera sets. And then I had a Project Life card in here, and then another comic strip that my mom gave me, and I did some journaling about it. And this was a post-it note that my daughter left on the refrigerator for me one morning. And it says, and that's when she was staying with me. And it says, I made fresh coffee and made you. Oh, and she says she cleaned the kitchen. Hope you enjoy it. I love you. Your favorite daughter. Because I always say she's my favorite daughter, but she's my only daughter, so I can say that. So I kept her little note that she wrote to me. And this is on the back of one of the textbook pages. And this page right here is just one of the pages I originally put in. I didn't do anything to it, because as I got towards the back of the book, I did less, and then I did another book. And then this was a screenshot of some comments from the YouTube channel. And you can see this was an envelope. And then this is the back page of some vellum. And here is just a picture of some items that I bought in a box, some vintage items. Had some vintage glasses and stuff in it. And this is a Project Life card. Do more of what makes you happy, you all. Do more junk journaling. And then I just made, out of that calendar, I made a pocket here with some washi tape on it. And on this back page here, I made a pocket. This is a Project Life card. I did lots of journaling on that one. And here, this was from some packaging, and I made a pocket out of it. And then this was from some jeans that I had, and then just a tab. Of course, I said I was going to go back and do something with that, and then I didn't. So what I learned from my first junk journal is just do it. Just get it done, and you're going to be so happy. You're going to love your first junk journal like I did. And the second thing is, you don't know what you don't know. Like, I didn't know that probably a bigger spine would be better. And so, but it still worked out for me, and it came out nice and fat. And I did learn that I like fat journals. So this was kind of just a win-win for me. So y'all have to give this video a thumbs up just like getting her done. And so that is my first junk journal. I hope you all enjoyed. And again, this is the journal that I'm currently working on, and I have all the process videos over at the Patreon channel. Again, you can check that out over at patreon.com/LizForAday. And you can join us over at Junk Journal Buddies over on the Facebook group as well. We have over 500 members, you all. And our group is super active, and people are putting their pictures on, and we got tons of ideas. And I think you would enjoy it if you love junk journals. You are very welcome. Just Lovely. I love that name, Just Lovely. It's cute. All right, you all. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off because I need me some din too. And I will talk to you all later on the next video. Thanks for coming on. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life. I enjoy too, Donna. All right. Bye.